Have you ever noticed your body showing strange signs that you could not quite explain? Maybe it was something small that made you stop and wonder. Maybe it was a feeling that something inside you was shifting but you could not find the words for. Alright. As we grow older, our bodies begin to tell stories. They whisper to us, they call for our attention. Some of these signs are gentle and harmless, but others carry a deeper meaning, a message that should never be ignored. What many people do not realize is that the human body can give warning signs when the end may be near. These are not your everyday aches or the tiredness that comes from missing a night of sleep. These are not the usual sore muscles or the normal changes of aging. Instead, these are specific signals, clear indicators that doctors and health experts often point to as signs that life is entering its final chapter. Now, before we dive in, I want to pause and ask you this. Have you ever looked at your own body and thought something feels different? Something feels unusual, but you brushed it off. If you have, you are not alone. Most people ignore the earliest signs, but today, I invite you to stay with me, because what we are about to explore could give you not only awareness but also peace. Understanding these signs is not about creating fear, but about giving clarity, about helping you see the bigger picture of life and preparing you to respond with strength. Today, we are going to walk through 7 of these powerful warning signs together. In this first part, we will focus on the first 3. I want you to pay attention not just with your mind, but with your heart. Notice how your body feels. Notice what memories come to mind as you listen. Each of us has either seen these signs in someone we love or perhaps even within ourselves. By the end of this video, you will not only understand what these signals mean, but also hold the wisdom to meet them with acceptance, grace, and compassion. Remember, these signs are not here to steal away your hope. They are here to give perspective. They remind us that time is precious and that every breath, every smile, every shared moment matters. So let us begin. Sign 1: rapid and unexplained weight loss. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and notice your clothes fit a little looser. You step on the scale and the numbers have dropped, but you have not changed your diet. You have not started exercising more. People around you begin to comment that you look thinner, even though you never tried to lose weight. At first, it might feel like a harmless change, but sudden, unexplained weight loss is one of the clearest warning signals that the body may be approaching its final stage. Why does this happen? The answer is often connected to how the body processes nutrients. In a healthy state, our digestive system breaks down. Food absorbs vitamins and proteins and sends energy throughout the body. But when the body is nearing the end, this system begins to slow down. Cells may no longer take in nutrients effectively. The digestive tract may become sluggish. Underlying conditions like advanced cancer or organ failure may also be at work. The result is that pounds seem to melt away without effort. Along with weight loss, you might notice a shrinking appetite. Foods that once brought joy or comfort lose their taste. Meals that used to feel satisfying suddenly feel heavy. A favorite dish might even taste different altogether. Some people take only a few bites and already feel full. Others push food away entirely. These changes are not about willpower or choice. They are about the body signaling that it is preparing for a new stage of existence. For families, watching a loved one lose weight rapidly can be heartbreaking. It is natural to want to encourage them to eat more to try to bring their strength back. But it is important to recognize that this is not laziness, and it is not stubbornness. It is the body shifting its focus away from growth and maintenance and toward conserving its remaining energy. When this sign appears, the most compassionate response is not to force food, but to focus on comfort, on dignity, and on creating meaningful moments together. So let me ask you, have you ever noticed sudden weight loss in yourself or in someone close to you? Did it worry you? Did you wonder if it meant something deeper? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your experience could help someone else who is going through the same thing. Now let us move to the second sign, sign 2. Persistent and extreme fatigue. We all know what it feels like to be tired. A long day of work, a restless night, or even stress can leave us drained. But this kind of tiredness usually disappears after some rest or a peaceful nap. The fatigue that comes as life nears its close is very different. It is not just being tired, it is an exhaustion so deep that even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Walking across the room feels like climbing a mountain. Holding a short conversation feels like running a marathon. Even sitting upright can feel like a challenge. Why does this happen? It happens because the body is gradually shutting down. The heart may not pump as efficiently. The lungs may not deliver enough oxygen. The blood may no longer carry nutrients the way it once did. In response, the body decides to use its limited energy on only the most essential functions. Survival comes first. So movement, alertness, and interaction are put aside. This often leads to long hours of sleep during the day. A person may wake for a short time, then drift quickly back to slumber. Nights may become restless while the daytime is filled with drowsiness. From the outside, it can seem like the person is withdrawing, but in truth, the body is simply prioritizing what little strength remains. This fatigue also affects the mind. Clear thinking may become more difficult. Responses may slow down. Confusion may appear. Conversations may trail off, and silence may feel easier than speech. This does not mean the person no longer cares. It means that staying awake and aware requires more energy than the body can spare. For loved ones, this change can be hard to watch, but it is important to remember that fatigue at this stage is not laziness. It is not depression. It is the body working with the little power it has left. Understanding this can shift our response. Instead of pushing for activity, we can create a peaceful space where rest is welcomed and the person feels safe. Let me check in with you again. If you are still here watching this video and finding value in these insights, type the number 2 in the comments. It lets me know you are engaged and learning. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit that button and turn on the bell so you do not miss part 2, where we will go even deeper. Now let us explore the third sign, sign 3, noticeable changes in breathing. Breathing is something we often take for granted. We do it without thinking. Yet when the body begins to change near the end, breathing patterns can shift in ways that are both visible and sometimes alarming. You might notice shortness of breath even when sitting still. Sentences may be broken by long pauses. A person may alternate between very shallow breaths and deep gasps. At times you may even hear a rattling or gurgling sound in the throat. This is often called the death rattle. It happens when throat muscles weaken and can no longer clear fluids effectively. Changes occur because the lungs and respiratory system are no longer functioning as they once did. Oxygen levels fall. Carbon dioxide builds up. Circulation slows down. For the person experiencing it, this can bring a feeling of heaviness in the chest, or the sense that air is never quite enough. For loved ones, these shifts can create fear or sadness. But it is important to understand that while these signs may look dramatic, they are often not painful. Sometimes changes in breathing are accompanied by cooler hands and feet, or a bluish tint in the lips and fingertips. This is a signal that circulation is focused on the core organs, leaving the extremities with less blood flow. Though unsettling, these changes are part of the natural process of slowing down. What matters most in these moments is not trying to correct the breathing but offering comfort. A calm environment, a gentle touch, a reassuring voice can ease fear and bring peace. The goal is not to fight against the process, but to walk alongside it with love. Sign 4. Withdrawal from social interaction. Have you ever noticed how someone who was once the heart of the conversation suddenly begins to retreat into silence? It can feel confusing, even hurtful, but in truth it is rarely rejection. Instead, it is the body quietly signaling that it needs rest and conservation of energy. In the final chapters of life, the simple act of speaking, or even just staying engaged, can feel overwhelming. For loved ones, this pulling away can feel like distance, yet it is more a sign of transition than dismissal. Picture a grandparent who once loved telling stories at family gatherings. Over time, their responses grow shorter. Their smiles remain, but they listen more than they speak. You may feel tempted to encourage conversation, but often what they need most is not words but presence. Quiet companionship, a gentle hand to hold, or simply sitting in the same room can mean far more than filling the silence. If you are watching right now, and this insight has touched, you type the word presence in the comments. It helps us know that you are still with us and finding meaning here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to do so, because these messages are meant to empower and support you not just today but in every stage of life. Sign 5. Decline in appetite and thirst. One of the most noticeable changes near the end is a sharp decrease in appetite and thirst. You may find that meals once enjoyed now sit untouched. A sip of water might feel like more effort than relief. For families, this can be one of the hardest signs to witness. We are conditioned to show love through meals, through nourishment, through the act of feeding. So when someone refuses food, it can feel like rejection or even surrender. But it is not. The truth is, the body is signaling that it no longer needs fuel in the same way. Energy is shifting inward toward essential functions. Forcing food at this stage can actually bring discomfort rather than healing. What matters most is comfort, not calories. Instead of worrying over full meals, focus on small gestures. Ice chips to cool the lips, a moistened sponge to ease dryness, or even just the soothing presence of water nearby. This is where love is redefined. Love becomes less about what you can give through a plate of food and more about the time you spend together. Holding hands, sharing memories, watching a favorite show together. These moments become the true nourishment. I want to pause and ask you something. Have you ever seen this with a loved one? Someone refusing food or water near the end? If so, type the word gentle below. Because gentle is exactly what is needed here. Gentle acceptance, gentle comfort, gentle love. Sign 6. Noticeable changes in skin and circulation. Another sign that can be both visible and unsettling is the change in skin tone and circulation. You may notice that the skin takes on a bluish or mottled pattern. Sometimes it feels cooler to the touch, or bruises appear more easily. For those watching, it can be distressing. But these changes are not a cause of pain. They are the body's natural response as circulation slows and energy is redirected toward the organs that still require it. This is the body's quiet way of saying it is conserving strength. It no longer pushes blood to the outer edges but keeps it centered on what matters most. This shift, though uncomfortable to witness, is deeply natural. For families and caregivers, the most important response is not fear, but compassion. Warm blankets, gentle touch, soft words. These become the ways we can bring comfort and care rather than worry or panic. If this part of the message resonates with you, leave a heart emoji in the comments below. It may seem small, but by sharing, we build a circle of care and connection. You are not alone in this. Sign 7. Withdrawal and decreased awareness. Perhaps the clearest and most emotional sign of life's final stage is when a person begins to turn inward more completely. They may sleep for long hours, speak less, or stop responding altogether. Sometimes they may even speak of seeing loved ones who have already passed on, or describe visions that feel beyond this world. While these moments can seem mysterious or even unsettling, many families find peace in them. This is awareness shifting. It is as though the person is standing with one foot in this world and one in the next. Their focus is no longer on daily details, but on the quiet transition ahead. For caregivers and loved ones, the best gift you can give is acceptance, presence, and peace. Your calmness allows them to rest without fear. I want you to imagine this for a moment. Imagine someone you love resting deeply, their breathing soft, their awareness turned inward. Though it may feel like distance, it is actually closeness to peace. And in that moment, what matters most is not what you say, but how you are there. If you are still with me right now, type the word peace in the comments so I know you are walking through this message with us. So, when we step back and look at all 7 signs together, what emerges is not a story of fear, but of understanding. From the weight loss that signals shifting energy to the deep fatigue that calls for rest, from the changes in breathing and skin to the decline in appetite and awareness. All of these are not random events, but part of the body's natural way of closing its chapter. And here is something important to remember. Each of these signs is not just about death, they are about life. They remind us that the time we have is precious and fleeting. They call us to presence, to compassion, to love in its purest form. Recognizing them does not mean giving up hope. Instead, it allows us to create moments that matter, to say what needs to be said, to give comfort and to receive peace. So let me ask you, what stood out to you most today? Was it the reminder to focus on presence? Was it the redefinition of love beyond meals? Was it the shift in awareness that brings peace? Share your thoughts below, because when you share, you are not just leaving a comment. You are building a community of understanding, support, and strength. And your words may be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Before we close, I invite you to like this video if it touched you, subscribe if you want to continue walking this path of knowledge, compassion, and clarity, and share it with someone who may need this message today. Together we can spread not fear, but wisdom, not despair, but comfort. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to walk with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we continue to uncover truths that bring peace and understanding.